Welcome to another exciting Shaper 3D webinar. Today with the focus of architectural interior design modeling. To give you a quick overview, I created a pretty broad amount of assets and images. So today we will simulate the situation where you go into a client's house and the client tasks you with redesigning the existing closets and walk-in closet. Because this is a constructed house and this is not a new house, you need to take measurements, etc. And you can work with possibly pulling construction documents from the city office, etc. And there were some problems with it, so I will illustrate how we can navigate through all these various issues. Okay, so up front, for those who are in interior design architecture, now the arrow that basically navigates or directs the north position. And as you can see here, I have a scan of the property. First sight, it looks pretty good, but if you look closely to it, you can start realizing that the scan has some serious issues. And there are some interesting changes in the lines, and all that basically means that this construction document is actually distorted. So it's not really very good to use as an underlay. So what I did, I used actually those drawings, and then also went to the property, took some direct measurements inside of the space, because the construction document is one thing, but during construction, changes might happen. So something I tell very often my students is don't trust a construction document you didn't manipulate or create yourself, because you don't know if changes that happened during the construction of the property are being reflected back into the original construction documents. So I went in, took a laser measurement device, and measured everything. All the dimensions you see here in blue are, for example, the interior wall dimensions. We also have, like in green, this is openings for various like door spaces, etc. And there's going to be a remodeling element where I would actually remove something the original construction company put in and change it for the client. Now this again is done in Concepts. I use this program a lot for when I'm on a site to take photos and take dimensions, etc. If I go to this document here, let it load for a second. There you can see how I took images of the property and started documenting it on the spot, creating different ideas, annotating dimensions, etc. Because nothing is more frustrating than when you go to a property, you take some notes on paper, you go home, and then you realize maybe there are some issues, some problems, or you actually afterwards have a hard time reading everything you took notes of. So this is a very good process of on the spot documenting everything. And if I actually zoom out more, there you can see I did this with various areas. It's a pretty great digital notebook. Okay, so these images I created as digital files. If I go to the iDrive right now, there you can see I have various scans of the property from the basement, first floor, second floor. I also created myself some cropped images where I can just import only this part into Shaper. For example, here we can see the absolute ceiling height. So this is all good to get. So let's go back to here. So now my first task before I start modeling or redesigning the closets, well, obviously I have to rebuild the architectural environment, based also on the dimensions I took. So I can open, whoops, wrong icon. I can open the the browser. So on the left side, you see like the sketch, that's the north. Here is the initial sketch, or sorry, scan I brought in for the construction document. And I would like to import now the refined, more accurate drawing of the space I did. You can use photos because I work on multiple projects. Obviously, I don't want things to be inside photos. So I put this into iCloud. And I have the image here. So now, oops. Okay, let's go to transform, select this one, move this one down. Very nice. And then I can rotate it. Very good. There. So how do we establish scale? This is basically step number one. Inside this drawing here, you can see that the interior space is 108 inches and 204 inches wide on each side. This is also another tip to work simply in inches instead of working with feet and inches and fractions. That can make it quite difficult. Working just in inches and decimal makes it a lot easier to work between different programs for scaling purpose. So how do I actually scale this image correctly to the size I need so that the closet stuff I would design also is to scale? Well, so when this is 108 inches, I could just in top view draw myself a line and say, well, this line should be 108 inches. There. Okay. Also, for those who are new to Shaper and ask, well, where is the whole unit system? If I tap on the cube on the upper right corner, go to units, there, then you can select the different unit systems you would like to work with. Very good. Okay, so, and to verify here, I can create one line. This actually should be 204 inches. Very good. Make sure this is horizontal, this is vertical. Very good. Now, with this actually done, I can then go ahead and scale my image to kind of like lining up with these two lines. So I go to transform, move, select my image, and then I can move this around. With the pencil, I can, as you can see, reposition the move widget. That makes it a lot easier. When I zoom in even more, I can manipulate then everything even finer. Now, as you can see, if I zoom in a lot, the sketch of the wall I created is very large. So this sketch is more a suggestion. It's not really the actual element I would follow, but the dimensions are really important here. Okay, good. So now I have the sketch kind of like positioned, the upper right corner of my image with the upper right corner of the sketch. Now I have to do the scale. So I click OK, go to transform and scale, select my image. And with the pencil, I can move the scale widget to where these two lines meet each other. And you see it snaps to that corner, which is perfect because now with this slider here, I can scale actually everything right to the way how I need it. Okay, good. Now, it might be easier to complete actually this room drawing. So I'll draw one line here. I will draw one line here. This corner, that should not move, so I will lock it. So this now I can make horizontal. And this I can make vertical. Now, very good. Then I can show the image again. Okay, very good. Looks like I'm What happened here? Do I have a typo? Might actually have a typo. Instead of 108, it should be 180. Okay, good. Let's log this out. Bring this down. What's this? Yeah, that was it, 180. Very good. Okay. See, that's actually one of these things where, I mean, if you just write things only down on a notepad and you don't take photos and overlays, sometimes you can make like a mistake here. And then it is very frustrating when you later inside your studio and you try to rebuild something doesn't match up, because that means you have to go back and remeasure. That's added time, added cost, and you can't expense your client for it because that's a mistake you made. So I will move this a little bit further away so I don't see this. This background image is maybe a little bit too opaque. You can see that it is difficult to see my sketch lines. So I can select here this image, swipe to the left. Maybe let's rename this. This is maybe my cat drawing with my measurements, and tap on it, can change the transparency to, let's say, 30%. There. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, good. Also, I can rename this to be my floor plan. Very good. So the dimensions I took basically stays, as you can see here, all the walls are constructed to 4.75 inches, which makes it very easy. So I would like to work here on the closet. So I will draw a line here, a line there, then a line there, bring this back. The distance between these 2 points, that should be 4.75. Very good. The opening of that space is 71.75, so 71.75 inches. Very good. And the height, as you can see in blue, is 22.25. That's another reason why I really enjoy working with concepts, because I can actually, via color codes, adjust or specify really what measurement is what measurement, and then actually have overlays this way. Now this line and this line, because these are the interior walls, they have to be the same. So I can use the tangent command. Very good. Then let's work on this space here. That's actually the hallway. Very good. So this should be vertical. These two elements here we make lined up to be tangent. These two lines we make tangent. The distance here too should be 4.75. Very good. Okay. So one more. That's now for the walk-in closet. Here again, I can use the tangent command to pull the lines being vertically and horizontally aligned. The distance here also 4.75. And down here, these two lines will be tangent. Okay, very good. I will draw one more bigger rectangle around the whole space, so that for you it's easy to see then also where the floors, etc. would be. Sorry, the walls. So this measurement here I do not have right now. This is not necessarily that important, so I will just go with 4.75. And the same here on this wall. Because I'm not rebuilding the house, I'm just redesigning the closets. the wall and the walk-in closet. So I can be very selective with what I really only have to digitize. Okay, good. So with this sketch done, now if I take a look at my modeling here, or the sketch, you can see there is an opening for the closet for the door. There's also a pass in for the hallway, and there's also another door for the walk-in closet and the master bathroom. So one thing that's obviously also very, very helpful is to take photos literally of everything. So here I put in just some images of the space I took a photo of, documenting the layout. This is also very easy to show where maybe some problems are. And you can even use these perspective photos to further document dimensions, etc. For example, in this property, all the doors have different height points. They're all not lined up, which is kind of bad. So the more detail you can find in through measurements and photo documenting it, the better you can then in Shaper create a fitting design. So we have to create openings for the doors, etc. But before I do this, I would actually like to draft up my walls now. The measurement I have is that this from the subfloor to the dried wall ceiling is actually 8 feet. So I can select this outline and then say that should be 8 feet. So 8 feet is basically 12 inches multiplied by 8. That is 96 feet. Okay, so 96. There we are. Very good. And let's call this one walls. Okay. Really go into the habit of giving everything inside your browser on the left side lots of logical names, because otherwise it might get very, very confusing at one point when you see body 1, body 2, etc., or sketch 1, sketch 2. This I can hide for the moment. This is not necessarily important anymore to see right now, because now I can go in, go back to the sketch and put in where are all the openings. So I have a measurement from 5.75 from the wall inside. There should be an opening right there. That should be vertical. And I have here another one, 5.875 from the right side to the left. So 5.875, 5.875 inches, very good. And then here, this would be 5.75. Okay, great. Now, the reason why I did this, check this out. So I'm going to take a look at my walls and move around from the bottom. Now I navigate to where I created the sketch, these two lines, and then I can push and pull into my previously modeled walls and create an opening. Because this is actually not a new construction, so where I design everything from scratch, this is something where I have to design something based on an actual object. I can't take everything apart, for example, doors and the framing, etc. So to go back for 1 second to this document, you can see how I took all my measurements. So you see from the trim of the door, here I will try to draw basically what distance I'm talking about right there. So this I measured from the wall to the trim is 4.75, etc. So I reverse engineered essentially where everything would be. And this allowed me then also to, if I go to Shaper, build various door models. So a single door, a double door, and a folding door. Okay, so now the thing is, how can I insert these elements actually into my space? Because I don't know necessarily where are actually the openings in the walls, but if I can measure where is the frame positioned inside the space, like this one, on a wall, left to right, considering also how thick the casing is, then I really know where the opening of the wall would be. Okay, so we have this here. I have already inserted my folding door. There it is. So the folding door, I would have to rotate 90 degrees. There, I'll just rotate it, 180 degrees. I will move it into position to there. Okay. Now I'll take a look from the bottom. And I can just try by hand position it with the move command, or what I will do now is I will go ahead and say transform and scale. My folding door objects are still all selected, so I select next. And then I could say from this corner, snap and move it to there. Hit OK. And then you see how this was lined up. Okay, now the trim overhangs a little bit. So I will go to the bottom so it's easier to see. Actually, perspective is still better. Now I'll switch back to move, select my folding door layer, select OK. Sorry. I shouldn't have hit OK because I need to adjust my widget. So I moved it back. And then I can just position this one plus minus where this should be. Ideally, you want to center this. Very good. And with all this done, now I can select the face here that is basically defining the door opening. And you see I can slide this up and down. And I just have to make sure that at one point I pull this one up as much as needed, so I have a little bit of an opening. Okay, very good. So one of the problems I have here in the space when I went to the client is also it has carpet, so I couldn't really measure from the ground, so the subfloor. So I needed to approximate a lot. And as you can see, this is actually a very, very easy way how to do this. Okay, so now to talk a little bit about this folding door. When I go in, you can see I have my trim, I have the various door elements, and I have here everything grouped. So the door open and the door closed. Now this is actually very useful to do when you explore what's installed to understand, well, how far do these elements actually open? So when I now have to design a closet that is behind these doors, I can kind of like visualize my arms and what I could actually really reach there, because these doors are kind of like blocking my access just a little bit. Okay, so before we continue, let's hide the doors. And let's go back to the CAD drawing. Another really nice thing about the way how Shaper here works is we can also work and quickly manipulate and renovate. So you see here in yellow, there is actually a linen closet built in that is accessible from the hallway. And it maybe was a good idea, but it's not really as good. So I personally would remove the linen closet, fill the opening in the hallway so we can actually more maximize the space inside the walk-in closet. So also here I have a door. So from the left, right side to the left, it is 19.68. This is kind of like what I measured. So I can go ahead, turn on the sketch again, draw there a line, another line. And now this line I make on purpose just a little bit bigger. And then we set 19.68. So from there to there, 19.68 inches. Very good. And also here we have a 36-inch opening. So there and there. Select these two dots. That should be 36. Very good. Okay, good. Now, let's hide the image again. Show the walls. Go from below. There we are. So here is my opening into the hallway. There we are. And here is my opening for the door. Also here, this door I will make really high. Mode. I selected the wrong element. There. Okay, very good. I have here my standard door. And in a moment, I will also show you how we can bring in all these CAD models into Shaper 2. These are all modeled actually in Shaper as individual files. And you just save them as individual file, and you can just, via the import function, place them in. So I will bring this door to here and closer because the door opens. So when the door opens, basically this hinders my ability to freely navigate in the space, which is why I personally try to include these elements as accurately as possible, because this way then I can virtually navigate and inside the space and make sure my proposal will work. Okay, good. So from there to there, I will move the door. Zoom in that this was actually correct. It's not 100%. So let's do this one more time. Translate standard door and this corner to there. So you have to be careful that you really position your snap targets well. There, so that's good. And now I can select this wall and say transform, translate with this selected face from there to there, move this in, and I would do exactly the same on the top. I have to hide my casing here for a moment, zoom in, select this one, translate, next, since the face is selected, and then we move this one down. Very good. Good. So as you can see now, quite easily we modified the architectural geometry, positioned everything in with the doors the way how I want it. Now this door here is closed. I would like to open this. As a little tip, as you can see here, I broke the building blocks of a door down into all the individual elements like the jamb casing, the stop, hinges, etc. So the door, that's the only thing that would rotate. By putting this into a group, it makes it very easy now to go to transform, move, tap on the door. I have to zoom out now, try to see where's my widget. There is the 3D widget. Then I zoom in. There is my cylinder, and I zoom in more. I can snap to the center. There, perfect. In a top view, I just rotate this 90 degrees. So there we are. Cool. Okay, so now we have essentially the space developed, and I can now think about, well, how do I now go ahead and design actually the closet space? Let me go to this page here. 1 second. And I zoom out a little bit. So I took a photo of the space open just to document kind of like the way how it is right now, already with 2 ideas. As you can see on the photo, the lower area is filled with long sleeve shirts. The right photo, then we put in some laundry baskets on the spot, trying to play through ideas how you're going to use the space, what you're going to store in there, where do you put pants, jeans, where do you hang pullovers and all the stuff. Do we hang pullovers or do we roll pullovers? And then I used Concept to quickly create few layout sketches. These are very crude, and that's fine because essentially this is more meant for making mental notes of various layouts. Because when it comes to a good construction, then I go into Shaper and build it actually there. Okay, so something like this is actually what I would like to build inside that small closet. Here I took some dimensions. So I will now take a screenshot. Crop this a little bit, very good. Click done, save to files, no, not photos. And say, oh, here's my webinar, and I call this one that is actually for the closet dimensions. Okay, because you want to, when you model, not having to switch between applications a lot. So in here, again, I will go to Add Image, go to Files, go to that folder. There is the screenshot I just took. Move it over. I would like to scale it a little bit. It's too big. There, because I will zoom in now anyway, and I can move this one closer to where I need it. Okay, so when talking to the client, we agreed on that maybe the lower part, instead of having shirts there, we will put in more laundry baskets. The client also has too many elements inside the space, so downscaling is actually a good idea. And to visualize how much these laundry baskets would occupy, those are bought actually at a local store, Target. I can now go to import. Go import. I have here folder 3D assets, and there's my laundry basket. There it is, right there in the corner. And where did it go to? Laundry basket. Okay, there. Very good. I will rotate this one 90 degrees. Then move it over, bring it into that space, and then say, okay, we have number 1. We also have a new move and copy and paste widget. As you can see, I can just, while moving, turning on the make copy icon. And then when I go to the space, there now I can see how easily do I have access to these laundry baskets. Very good. So the corners left and right of the space are kind of dead because it's difficult to reach here. And that's unfortunately the result because of these folding doors. But there's not just as much what we could do. Otherwise, we would have to remove the whole door system, open and the wall wider to put a different access system in there. Then having like a shelf, for example, for putting few t-shirts folded down, the client would like to have. So you see this is from the subfloor 39 inches up. So I could hide my laundry baskets, and also ideally it might be better to even put those into a folder. So I can very easily structure my design. There we are. Okay, I hide them now. And to now design something at this position, I could go ahead and could hide my walls. I could also hide here my doors, show my floor plan. And this basically gives me now a left to right dimension. So this is now where we start thinking about, well, if I'm going to fill this space with a wooden construction, where do I start? I have horizontal and I have vertical boards. The material thicknesses we could play with is like 3/4 of an inch, an inch and a half. Now, the thicker the material, the more stronger it gets. So I decided to go here with an inch and a half material thickness there. Very good. Then I can lock this. Very good. Let's see, what is this distance? This is 18 inches. I might need to figure out, well, how deep should something actually be? I have here a measurement for this opening. This is 8 by 8 inches and it's 16 inches deep. So I can use this as a reference. 16, I go with 18. Very good. That makes sense. Good. Now, this here, I will extrude up as a new body, and I can call this one, that is a side vertical. So now I'm switching from an interior designer more into an industrial, a furniture designer. I'm just building everything what I want in relationship to the space I have. I decide to pull this one nicely up, maybe to there, and then I will use the translate command and say, so this face from there to there, move up. So they're lined up. Very good. Nice. And I would like to have the same also on the other side. So I can do a translate again, select everything, next, turn on copy, and then I click on this corner, verify, yep, I selected the correct corner, click done, and there got moved over. Very good. Now this is a pretty big board, but that means it's nice and strong. So over 2, 3, 5, 10 years, it will not sag very much. These vertical boards could also be bolted against the studs inside the drywall. If I would like this to be more refined, I could also put a top wall onto it. So let me show you how I would do this. I would make a copy, turn off making copy, and then now I would rotate this one 90 degrees, move this one up. There, now I will actually turn off my wall because I don't need it anymore. Go to here, there, and then switch to translate. This object is selected, and move to there. Very good. One more time. This, go down to there. So you see I shrank it. And one more time on the other side, translate and say this face from there to there. Okay, good. Now these boards, these are vertical, they are too long. I could use the same command for shrinking it, or I simply say subtract and subtract bodies to remove from. So those two are the targets. This is my tool. And there we are. And 1 second, I have to say keep the original, so my tool is not lost. Now I can do exactly the same. Move actually this lower corner down to there. Very good. Should have done this as a copy, sorry. So turn copy on. So lower corner to lower corner there, very good. Then I will do the same with the subtract one more time, u minus keep original, the bottom plate. So this basically means here in this case, I can install this bottom plate onto the ground. So I might either put it on the carpet or remove the carpet so it goes against it. And this way I stiffen up the whole construction nicely. I also have a horizontal board. I could simply select this, move this one down to there. For the moment, that is good. Then let's go tools and say subtract u minus u and u. Keep the original there. So see, this is actually super easy now to start creating a storage system by effectively or efficiently using all the individual modeling tools we have. Okay, so let's go back one more time here. So there's a 39-inch height. So how do we do this? Well, I did not do any sketch. I don't want to do a sketch. I just want to continue working only with the least amount of sketches. So I just work with the geometry as much as possible and use direct modeling. So one more time, I will use the move command and say from there, move it down to there. Very good. And then I will go the move command, but now this time I will switch this to there. Okay, and then move this one up 39 inches. There we are. So now we have the horizontal board. Our laundry baskets, they are actually now intersecting. So select the laundry baskets. There. Where's my 3D widget? There it is. And I could use the move to command correctly or just eyeball this a little bit. There. Very good. Cool. Okay. So now I can, from this view, see if I have to put something into the laundry basket, there is sufficient amount on top. Now, for example, one basket is for the male owner, or one basket is for the female house owner or occupant, and then maybe one basket is for other stuff like wet towels, etc. So it's really based then also how you want to do your laundry system during a day. So all this actually will inform how you want to design the storage systems. So the person here also has lots of t-shirts, shirts, and a hanging system. So I decided what actually would be really nice would be to have, if I zoom to here, as a system where we can subdivide quickly shirts and fold them and put them down, easy access. And then have, as you can see, upper left corner, something for t-shirts, shirts hanging down on a hanger, and then on the right side, that's maybe a sliding element for pullovers, etc. Okay, so one last verification for the measurements. So 8.8 is the inner opening. Very good. In this case now, I might actually start creating a sketch. Where do I do the sketch? Ideally, maybe here, I will just select this back face, and with my finger now, I double tap. That lines up the construction plane to there. And now I can go ahead and start drawing a rectangle. So this rectangle should be 8 inches, and this should be 8 inches too. Very good. Would like to have a material thickness, so offset this one by 0.75, 0.75 there. Very good. Now this one I delete. So the reason why I did this is I need to figure out where do I have horizontal and vertical construction? How do I put these parts together? So I will draw a line, a line, a line, a line. Very good. Go this way, go over. This I would like to be vertical. So you see, I really try to build everything the way how later inside my woodshop or with a custom design woodshop, I would build all the elements. Because if you have a little bit of understanding of woodworking, this can seriously inform then also your CAD modeling. Very good. So there we have this stuff. Very good. This is like one module. We set the distance here is 16 inches. So we'll go ahead and select this one and this one. Go this way by 16 inches. Very good. Select this and this. Nope, this one. 16 inches too. Very nice. There we have the individual objects. Now I could go ahead, go scale, and not scale, move. Select this, 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 and this. Make a copy. Oh, I forgot one. Okay, so be careful when you tap on everything that you not just select a face, but you select the whole body. Move this over. Very good. Then translate. Bring this to there. Cool. Now translate. As you can see, it's a little bit of upfront work, but then it's really very effective to just multiply a design. Now we have 4. Do we have space for 8? Maybe we do. So let's try this out and translate one more time. I'll try to select always elements that are easy to click on there. Make a copy from the top corner down to there. Very good. Okay, nice. So let's go to the left view. There we are now. So this could be all cut out of various elements of lumber. I would like to have also the ability to slide this left and right and have some, for that I need some sort of a rod. Standard rods for this are around an inch, inch and a half. I would like this to be also centered. So how could we do this ideally? Before we continue now you see that our our scene gets a little bit crazy. So to create some order to this, we'll make a folder, swipe left, and then hanging system. I will give this a name. Now I will select all those, and then also here, there, 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 tap, 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 tap. Very good finger practice there. So now to move all those into that folder, I open that folder, go to the bottom, you see these three dots, tap it, say move selected to here, and they're perfect. See, pretty cool. Make one more folder. This one maybe we call closet frame. And yep, so you. Okay, all those go into this group. So in this way, I can very easily turn things on off. This is, as you can see, really key to be very effective at navigating everything. I could select this side because I would like, obviously, the rod that's on top, that has to be centered so it does not hang down rotated. So I can select this side with a finger now, double tap. So check this out. What I'm going to do, I will draw just somewhere a line and touch this edge, and then it will project this edge into a sketch. There I have a center point, or sorry, a midpoint. This I will make horizontal. Let's make a ring. Put this ring to there. This ring should be 1 inch. That is what the client has. Very good. And now I could create a basic wooden construction. Everything is very linear, so I will try to do the same here. Very good. This distance 2 inches, this distance also 2 inches. Okay, this can go down. That should be vertical, also 2 inches. No, it's 1.5 is fine. Okay, very good. And this maybe push down to 2 inches. This can get pretty close to it. Very good. Okay, so what I basically have here is now I can select these two sides and create myself this element. I will show my hanging system again there. Then I will make a copy of this, bring this down to there. Now the question is, how do we bolt this together? Oh, this should not have been there. Very good. Okay. The thing that's missing is actually the pipe. So we put this one in there, and this one we put into there. Hide this. So there is a pipe. This is a rod then which we can buy actually at a store. So I will do the following. So on this one here, I will push out a lot, go to the other side there, push this one out on purpose, because this way now I can actually cut an opening into that space. So we're a little bit short on time, so I'm not perfecting the height position of this system because I would have to take some more measurements. What I will do now is go subtract and say, you two, please have this cut out. So you see there's now an opening inside these wood boards. So as you can see now, I can just put the bottom plate down. So this one, and then I put the side and the other side, put the pipe in between, and then this way the pipe is perfectly secured. Only thing left to do now would be go to transform, translate, select this, and then say move that face to there. So you can see Shaper's direct modeling is actually really fast. It's pretty great. There we are. Let's take a look at the hanging system. There it is. Cool. Go to the left view. Nope. Where is it? There it is. And could go transform, move, select my hanging system. Where's my widget? There it is. And just play with it. So when this can move around, how can I have access to it? If I have my standard door, no wait, this is the folding door, there. So we can, as we can see, this is actually too high now, so I have to move everything a little bit lower. So let's try this actually out. So all this I can move down. Let's say till 6 inches. So that's good. And there's also, as you can see, a certain amount of depth between the door and that hanging system. So my arms can actually reach this. So I moved here everything 6 inches down. No, I only have to select these openings, go to transform, move, and also move this 6 inches down. Bang. They're all lined up perfectly. So the last thing to maybe do is create, with all this now in space, also the dividers on this board. So I can select this sketch one more time with my finger double tap. So I snap back to that construction plane. I will hide everything that can be confusing. I will continue working with 1.25 for the material thickness. So there, and there. 1.75, so things look nice and thick. They have a good value. If 0.75 is a very common material thickness, but sometimes it can look kind of flimsy. To figure out the spacing, I will show you how we will do this in a minute too. There. Okay, now we have to make them all the correct height. Let's say 4 inches there, and U be tangent. Then the same here, U and U be tangent. So I line up all these elements. I could obviously also build everything one time and then just copy and paste. Sometimes, like in this case here, I prefer drawing everything inside the sketch more and plan this out because I can do measurements better. So as you see, I added these 2 lines, which I'm going to delete because those gave me the vertical lines. This goes right against the frame, so I don't have to add anything there. Let's check this out what I'm doing. So I draw a line, and I draw a line, and I draw a line, and I draw a line. So now I could say U and U. So these 2 outside lines, they should be equal. Pretty nice, no? And then U and U could also be equal. So very easy now. I repositioned those vertical slabs. So what happens now if I say, well, what about U and U are equal to, and then U and U are equal? Zip. You see, perfectly everything got subdivided. So that's the reason why this was something that was easier to do via the scale, because via the sketch, because the sketch solver here I used to perfectly subdivide the spaces just by using the equal command. Now here's my my frame system. All I have to do now is go ahead and select this. Oh, I have to be maybe careful. Here, there might be a sketch issue. Let me see. I can pull those out first. There. And let's make a copy. There. Oh, I see this line actually does not touch the ground. Not a big deal. Okay. Copy and paste this over. Very good. Hide all my individual sketches I don't need. Save. I make a folder here. This folder I call T-shirt separate. Oops. Always have issues spelling that word correctly. Yep. And put all the stuff in there. Very good. Let's take a look at this. And let's take a look at laundry baskets. And there you can start seeing how now the more we start modeling and refining everything, we can design the storage system. And because I'm modeling everything right into the architectural space, given the fact that the measurements obviously are correct, I could then take this, take all these individual objects, take measurements, and then go to a local here in Detroit, for example, the company I work with is called Ghana MFG. It's an industrial designer who focuses on one-of-a-kind furniture design. I could give him this computer model or tell him the measurements, and then he will cut the lumber, finish it, and then send it back to me so I could install it for the client. So it's a very, very easy process. Also, a visit to the local hardware store to try to see what solutions are there. Is there something where you could reuse something already that's pre-made, so you don't have to buy everything, you don't have to manufacture everything from scratch. That could lower the cost of the project, make your client happy too, and probably also make you more happy.